Welcome back. I was watching some of the last couple videos that I did, and Dalton commented, "I missed your welcome back." I was like, "Oh, that was nice. Welcome back." I still say it. Yeah, I am nervous and overwhelmed. I don't know how to start. I don't know what to say. The last video I did was November of last year. I recorded in October, so it's basically been a year. A lot has happened. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice I'm in a new apartment. Isn't that interesting? We'll get to that later, I guess. I didn't really write any notes for today, so yeah, I'm nervous. It's not going to be a very good video. I was actually watching the video where I was crying, and I was like, I'm talking pretty good. I'm not going to be able to be that good today. It's been a long time since I've done this. I guess that guy 2 years ago was good at just being vulnerable. Maybe I'm still that person, so we'll see. But I'm 32 now. I remember him saying, I'm so nervous. I am almost 30. I am so old. And well, he was old. That guy was kind of a loser, right? He never been kissed. He's just like, just kidding. So yeah, I'll give a timeline, I guess, of things that have happened since then. I didn't even really talk that much about. I didn't watch the last video that I did because it's still kind of sad to watch stuff like that, and I'll explain why. But I feel like in that video I didn't really talk about like what had happened. I just kind of talked about loneliness. So I like the past 2 years I haven't really talked here about like my life and stuff. In November, I bought an engagement ring for Danielle. I had a girlfriend, Danielle, if you'll remember in the last video. I had the book. Oh, we are so happy together. We're doing all these things. Then, well, there was an election that kind of didn't go my way that I wanted in America. I'm actually a federal worker, so turns out the president kind of affects my job. So in January there were like some executive orders. It was kind of scary. I wasn't sure like if I was going to lose my job and stuff. The biggest change was telework was taken away, so we go into the office every day. That was a big deal for me. March, I started going in every day, and Danielle and I broke up, which is like the big thing. Never had a single event like that happen to me. That was so earth-shaking, kind of. Then in the next couple months, my best friend Taina got married, and then she moved to Montana. I think that was in June that she moved, and she got married in May. And I was good friends with her husband too, so they both moved. And then I started to become really close to my friend who I made from soccer. I don't know if I ever mentioned him. Yeah, his name is Josiah. Been really close with him and his wife and doing a bunch of stuff. Then my brother got married last month in August, and I just got back from that. And then last week, I had done some interviews for jobs, and last week I got a job in Virginia. And the past week I was like thinking a lot about it, trying to decide if I should go or not, and I kind of decided I would take it. So that's the scoop, the straight poop. You heard it here first, folks, the straight poop. What I was thinking is that like when Danielle broke up with me, so let's talk about that. I guess let's talk about why that happened. Maybe. So yeah, it's hard to summarize, but I guess to try, I loved her and she loved me. I knew that. She really wanted to get married. I felt like I needed a little bit more time to be ready. This is hard. I wasn't planning to talk about like this, but I should have an answer that I could express without having to write it down or think about it or have it be perfect. Because I'm thinking now like this is gonna be my answer that I put like forward. And if I watch this video back 2 years from now, this is gonna be the summation of my answer. Just like that summation of my experience 2 years ago with that date and crying, that's the only thing I remember about that experience really. And that's the only thing that I expressed to the world about it. So it's kind of stressful to think about, like, I'm just farting out some thoughts and this is going to be the thing that, like, is the summary. So yeah, I was glad that she wanted to get married. But yeah, I just felt uneasiness about it. I knew that I loved her and that I wanted to get married, and I knew that, like, we could figure it out. I had a hard time getting there, but I did in November, and that's when I bought the ring. I guess I could show it to you. I still have it. I haven't really looked at it. But I thought it would be interesting to show it here. I have it. I haven't been able to sell it just mostly because I don't know how. I also felt like it's her ring, so she deserved, like, a chance to take it if she wanted. But when we broke up, we kind of decided, like, let's wait 3 months before we talk again. Whatever. I'll talk about that part too. That was the hardest part of the breakup for me. I don't know. Obviously, the first part was the hardest part. The second hardest part was we kind of talked when we were breaking up, and we're like, this is going to be really hard. So let's wait 3 months and then we can talk again. Like, maybe we can be friends and hang out because we still love each other. We like each other. We don't have many other friends. So I'll wait 3 months and then I'll send a text and be like, hey, how are you doing? So I did that and she didn't respond. Then I sent her a letter, and told her a bunch of my feelings about, like, oh, like, I know it's hard, but, like, I'd still like to try to be friends and be friendly and make sure you're okay, and we still live close, so. And yeah, so the hardest part was breaking up, but the second hardest part was I sent that letter to her because I didn't want to text her again. I didn't want to be weird, and she sent me back like a postcard thing that said, because I told her about the ring, and I actually had her Wii somehow when I moved out. I said, like, do you want the ring or the Wii? And she said, Anthony, no to the ring and the Wii, Danielle. And so, yeah, that kind of killed me because it was really hurtful. I just felt like I didn't deserve that. Like, she broke up with me, and I felt like I even just felt like I deserved a letter back that was just like, hey, it's still really hard for me to talk. So maybe someday we can talk, but, like, I'll reach out to you when I'm ready. I'm just not ready right now. And that would have been okay with me because I know it's hard. Well, in the letter I was saying, like, I know it's hard to talk, so if you don't want the ring, you don't have to respond. And I'll leave the we for you. So you don't have to respond if you don't want to right now. But for her to send the card back to me and be very pointed about it just made it feel like she didn't love me anymore. And yeah, I don't know. That was a hard feeling. It was the hardest thing. Yeah, it was a couple months ago. It still kind of gets me. I mean, I don't cry every day anymore, but I cried every day. Yeah, this is hard. I mean, it's obvious. I loved her and I wanted to marry her, so I'll show you the ring. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's in here. I was thinking it might be, like, good TV to, like, take it out and look at it, but it wouldn't be good for my mental health to look at it, so I'll put it back in there. I remember when we broke up and I, like, got settled here, I moved, and I had the thought that, like, it was like a month later, and it's like, I should do a video and, like, process my thoughts here about, like, this horrible thing that happened and show my emotion and be vulnerable, and well, that's what I do. But yeah, I had the thought, and it's a similar thought that I had when I was watching the videos back, like, when I stopped recording videos, is like, I really didn't want to process my emotions here. I wanted to push myself to be vulnerable with my family and my friends instead of being vulnerable here. And I'm very grateful that I had this before, because it was too hard to talk to people before. And so I did want a place to talk, and this was the only place I could do it. I did feel at a certain point that it was holding me back from like a comfort zone or something. Like, I'm comfortable talking here because nobody can see me right now. So I can be completely vulnerable and honest here. I didn't want that. I wanted to connect with real people in real time. I wanted to call my parents. I wanted my friend. I mean, I'll start crying if I think about it, but yeah, the day that we broke up, my friend at work helped me a lot. Because we kind of broke up. It was March 18th, and Tuesday night we had like a little bit of like, well, I think this is it. She was like, I think I'm done. I told her like I still wanted to be with her, and the day after in the morning, I still thought like it could be okay, and she texted me like it's done. I'm like, I'm done. It's over for real. And while I was at work, I texted Taina like, hey, could you take your break a little bit earlier, and we could just walk around. And like, I think something like bad happened. And then we walked around, and when I saw her, so yeah, we walked around, and when I saw her, I started crying, and I knew it wasn't gonna stop. So I told her like, just walk me to my car. I walked to my car, and then she went back, and I texted my boss like, I'm gonna take some time. That night I went back to the apartment, and that was so hard. Um, Tiny went with me. She brought me a pizza. She helped me walk in for the first time. Yeah, and we went upstairs in the bedroom, and I was trying to pack up a couple of things. I just started sobbing. She like gave me a little back pat. So it's gonna be okay. So yeah, then it was kind of hard to be in there. I was like, is it okay if we just like drive around for a little while? So we drove around for like half an hour, and I was like just crying so much, and she was like, instead of crying, why don't you try screaming? That's what I like to do. Yeah, it's one of the nicest memories I have. Is just like my friend trying to help me and helping me. Just being vulnerable with her, and and crying and screaming with her and telling her what happened. And so yeah, I don't know. The point of that is just like those memories of reaching out to those people. I know it's not an either or thing. Like I know I could have done both, but like the memories of reaching out and connecting with those people will mean more to me. I'll remember for the rest of my life more than like if I had made a video and processed like my sadness here. um, it does mean a lot to me to like be able to do this and connect with people online. Like I don't mean it like that. I just mean like it did feel in the moment like I would be taking away from those connections if I processed stuff here instead of like going to my friends and family. And but yeah, my life seems to be defined by this tale of two traumas. The one big trauma of isolation, and then the second sharp, like acute trauma of um, an earthquake. Someone that you were planning to spend the rest of your life with, uh, saying they don't love you anymore. Remember when this was a social anxiety channel? But yeah, the social anxiety trauma and the isolation trauma was always so disconnecting. It felt like, so yeah, looking back on it now, it was like this horrible self-inflicted solitary confinement of like never being able to connect with people, anybody, which is more horrible than like, it's one of the worst things. I don't know. I don't want to like compete with other people's horrible things, but now that I've had this second trauma, I don't know. It's all kind of mushed together, and it's, I don't know. I don't know if I like what I'm saying exactly, but I just want to have like some kind of empathy for my past self of like, that was one of the hardest things anybody can ever go through. is to never be able to express to connect with anybody. You're just kind of walking around and you don't feel like you belong there. And because nobody knows you and nobody sees you. For 15 years, it was like that for me. It's a long time. From like 13 to 29 or whatever, 28. I really feel that way. That like, that was a solitary confinement in my head. I was trapped in there. This channel was my first attempt to break through in it, and it did work. I got out. And yeah, so that was the first trauma. And the second trauma has been horrible too. It's been the most intense grief that I've ever felt. Yeah, I'm doing it again where I'm like comparing it to other griefs for whatever reason, but which you shouldn't do, obviously. But I'm like, I lost my partner. I can't, like, I'll never see her again. I'll never talk to her again. Um, she doesn't want to talk to me. So she's basically died. And I remember when it happened, I was still in that apartment for a week, and that was horrible. That just took 2 weeks. Because I felt like I died almost or something. Because she wasn't acknowledging me, and I felt like I was a ghost in the apartment. I felt like she died because she wouldn't talk to me. The hardest thing I remember was like the weekend before, I had just like made a thought in my head that like it was the best day I ever had. It was like St. Patrick's Day or something, and yeah, we were together the whole day. I remember in the morning we went to parade with Josiah and my friend, and then after that I remember I did this run. Like I did a 5K and it was in 30 minutes, and I was super happy because I hadn't really run that much in the winter, and I was like, oh, I didn't lose my progress. And then I came home and I was super happy about the run. I played Elden Ring for the first time, and I was like happy to start a new game. And Danielle came up and sat next to me and played a game on the Switch. I think she was playing Mario or something. And we just sat together. And then that night, we um, went to a hockey game together. And I was so happy there. And that was Saturday. Yeah, I was starting to feel. That's why it was just so tragic and so hard for me. I was starting to feel right on that Saturday. This is working. We can do it. And then 2 days later, it was done. That was our 2 year anniversary, so we had planned a bunch of stuff to do. And I know I'm only giving like my side of what happened. I mean, I could talk more about I could talk about everything, but it would take a long time. I don't mean to say like a sob story, but I'm just talking about like how this was traumatic. Similar. So yeah, I mean the first trauma was the social anxiety. Yeah, kind of like a chronic pain or something. Like if you live and like your back always hurts, it's just like always there. And then the second trauma was like a break, like a heartbreak. Like you break your leg or something, is just a sharp like trauma, and then you're kind of left dealing with it for the next year or whatever. When you break your heart. But anyway, yeah, what I just keep trying to say is like the heartbreak helped me connect more with people, more than I ever could have imagined. Everybody talking to me about like their experiences with breakups and how it's hard, and just talking to me while I was crying, and it made me feel normal. I'll just say it, which I never thought I would feel normal, but I did. And maybe even when I was with Danielle, I didn't feel normal, and I only ever felt normal like when that happened. There is a tremendous power that I still haven't fully unlocked that I want to, and being completely vulnerable with people that I felt completely vulnerable with someone in real space where you're looking at them and you're saying, I'm so sad. My life completely changed. My heart is broken. I don't know if I can go on. I don't know if I can have the life that I want, a partner and a family, if I can't make this work. How can I ever make something work with anybody? Saying that to somebody and having them talk right back to you and be like, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, I have to, I don't know. I'm gonna keep making myself cry. I guess for everybody has their own thing that can feel powerful. But for me, to never have that, it's like, it's an explosion. Like the way I'm viewing life now is so much different since the breakup. Like I've been connecting with a lot of people and my anxiety's like gone basically. And I always thought like, until right now, that like the catalyst for that was the breakup. That was the powerful thing, right? That was the thunderbolt that changed my ability to connect with people and open up. Um, but the power didn't come from the breakup. It came from Taina sitting with me and yelling with me, and it came from my friend Josiah helping me with my car when I didn't know what to do. The day after my car wasn't working, and my coworker surprised me with like gifts for my new apartment. And Melissa, my coworker that I work with the most, I texted her on the day that we broke up, and I was like, I can't sit at my desk because there's pictures there of us. She took them down. My parents talking to me every day and driving up here. My friends helping me move and inviting me to stuff. Since then, I've felt strange. Maybe I could talk about this in another video, just how different things have felt, and I don't know if it's like just a temporary thing, but I feel like my brain almost inverted where I used to think about how do I explain this? Like your anxiety brain would take something and be like, "Oh, you can't handle this. You want to talk to the grocery store person. You're weird. You can't handle this. You're too anxious. You're too goofy, weirdo. Oh, you want to do a new job. You can't do it. Here are all the reasons why you can't do things." My overthinking brain would think of all the things that I can't do. But the big couple decisions I've had to make since then, and my life mostly since then, my brain has started using the overthinking like for good, and it's strange. Like so, yeah, I'll end on this because I have the new job now, and even like maybe I'm doing it too much, or maybe I'm not supposed to take this job, but my brain is like inverted now, and all these thoughts come up about like kind of like neutral thoughts, facts. Like you're gonna leave your friends, and usually my old brain would be anxious because it'd be like, oh, you'll never find friends again, and you can never do this, and you're weird, and nobody will ever like you except your friends. that you have here. Oh, this new job, like maybe you can't do it. Like, you can do this job. Usually that's what I would be thinking. But my overthinking now is like working to make me do stuff where it's like, oh, like remember all these times that you could do these things and you actually are good enough, like you've made connections and like you're strong enough to do this, like you've been running and you're good at that. And I don't know, my overthinking brain has been like promoting me, and it felt like the thunderbolt was the power of connection after the breakup that flipped my brain. Hopefully it never flips back. I don't know, today I was feeling kind of sad because I couldn't run. um I keep getting this stitch. Like the past 3 days I tried to run and I can't do it, and I was like really sad about it. I'm like, uh-oh, am I starting to flip back? So anyway, that's it. So okay, I mean the point of this video, I was gonna like talk about the job, but then I'm like, you have to talk about the breakup a little bit, and I still didn't really talk about it that much. There's so much more to it, so much more that I did wrong that I'd like to talk about. But yeah, save it for another video. I don't know if I'll do one. I don't know if I'll have time. I'm like doing this new job and stuff, but I do think at some point I want to like commemorate my time in New York if I am leaving. I've been here for 4 years and it's been like a crazy 4 years. It's kind of unbelievable, all the stuff that's happened. I think I am finally glad though um, to be part of humanity. I feel like I have a place here. It's a weird place. My place in all this is weird, and sometimes it's dumb and sometimes it's cool, but I have a place here. I'm glad I'm here. Yeah, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I kept trying. Um, it's been really hard. I remember it being so hard, but I just wanted to keep trying. And I'm glad I did. And I'm still here. I didn't give up, but I'm still not gonna give up. I'm gonna do this new job. I'm gonna move, and it's gonna be a new thing. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. There was a reason I said that every day. There was a reason I wanted to say it every day at the end of every video, because I wasn't sure if I did say it to myself, if I didn't promise to myself I wanted to be here one more day, that I would make it. So yeah, before I keep making myself cry, um, I'll try not to make this video too long. Um, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Keep trying. If you're out there, anybody's out there, hi. It's me, Anthony. He wants you to keep trying. Okay, bye.